you're here to do and go and do that. Because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up. Do you, please? Thank you. Hello, humanity. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello. My name is Reuben Christian. And this is the Do You podcast or audio interview thing. It's a new concept that I'm toying with that I'm quite excited about, actually, where I just sit down with human beings that have found and are following their calling. They've worked out what they need to do with their life, and they are following that, and they are making that happen, because I find that inspirational. And I think everyone, in order to be happy, properly fulfilled, we need to work out why we're on earth and what we need to contribute and do that, or we're just going to go around like zombies and just start to become upset, and then that upset turns into negativity, and then we give it out to someone else, and everyone becomes angry and starts slapping each other's faces for no reason on the street. Imagine that. You walk outside and you get slapped. It's some bullshit, man. I'm based here in fairgroundlondon.com, which is basically my spiritual home. They've given me the opportunity to record my audio here and do some bits and bobs with individualism as well. So I'm a big fan of the people that run this place. And that's not even a plug. That's just pure love, man. Fairgroundlondon.com. Check that out. Shit's going to be popping off. Today, my first interview. This is my first ever podcast, all right? Today, my interview is with an alt-pop singer. He's a singer, a songwriter, a producer, and just an all-round ball of superb energy. He goes by the name of Shakka. He's I Am Shakka online. I Am Shakka on Twitter, I think it is. But yeah, man, he's become a close friend of mine. I met him when I first was shooting Sins of Style for Individualism, which is a comedy sketch showing what men shouldn't be wearing. And he was with my close friend Nikki, who I've worked with in the past. And she's his management. She's like, Reuben, you're doing this UK Talk to Me thing, which was my comedy series at the time on YouTube. Shakka's quite fun. You should get him involved. It might help with his promotion. I was like, who the hell is he? And then this energy hit me while I was filming. It was Shakka who was next to her. He's like, imagine if you got 1,000 Pro Pluses, mixed them in coffee and sprayed it with a can of vaporized Red Bull and turned that into a human. That's Shakka. That's the energy this guy was rolling with. I'm like, a little bit odd, possibly on crack. I thought Nikki was a parole officer when she was rolling with him. I thought, she's now gone from law and is looking after mad people. Anyway, I'll never judge you, Nikki. I love you. Deeply as a friend, because I know you're taken deeply as a friend. So I'm going to give him a try. So anyway, me and Shakka went out on the street and we connected and we shot a UK Talk to Me episode, which is you can find on my YouTube, floating around. It was mad fun. And I got to know Shakka and I got to know his music. And not only do I like his musical genius in terms of production, singing and songwriting, but what he says means a lot to me, because he's been through a lot as an artist trying to find himself, and he puts out his truth totally. And yeah, man, it resonates with me. I've had the opportunity of hosting one of his shows as well. It was amazing, and he's just an all-round. You know what, Shakka, if he could be my brother, he'd be my only black brother. He'd be my only one. I wouldn't even want more. So this is how my interview went with Shakka. To find out, to listen to more of my interviews, it's soundcloud.com/Reuben-Christian. Reuben spelled Reuben, Christian spelled like the religion, and that's ReubenChristian.com on the website to check out more of my stuff. Let's get onto the interview, man. Feel free to share this as well, by the way. We're just doing this for the love, baby, the love. Oh my God, the love. Find out what you're here to do and go and do that. Because before you know it, you're gonna be dead.
Now.
Oh, so now it's rolling.
Now it's rolling.
That's nice. I need to get one of these cards. It's so much better than mine.
Do you know what? It's not even a card.
Is it?
I don't think it's a card.
Maybe I'm just cursed with bad luck. You think I'm cursed with bad luck, bro?
If I thought you were cursed with bad luck, even if I did think you were cursed with bad luck,
yeah,
I'd still be sitting next to you right now. So I don't think it's a.
Does that mean you're fearless? Like you're not scared of anything, or it's just that you have respect for me and my family name?
That first, the latter first, and second,
respect.
I don't think it's fearlessness. I think it's an awareness of your own mortality.
You think I'm immortal?
No, your own mortality.
Oh, my mortality.
Each of our own mortalities. Like you don't know how much time you got left, and so. Yeah. For you to say, I don't want to do this opportunity because of X, Y, Z, you're not blessed with the luxury of unlimited time for you to say, I won't do it now. I'll do it later. Do you know what I mean?
This is true. So there's always an urgency.
There's always an urgency for everything.
And you share that mindset.
I share that.
Because I kind of live by that. And I wake up screaming in panic. Every day I'm like, you know what? I've got stuff
I should
to
be doing something.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If I'm urinating, if I'm frying an egg, I'm in essence wasting time.
Yeah.
And I've had this discussion with someone else where I said, I think sleep. If we add up the amount of time as human beings we sleep, and when we're in transit,
that's necessary. The sleep is definitely necessary.
What if someone found a way that you don't need to sleep, but you are replenished every morning without the necessity of sleep
and rest,
but you still feel the same? So
I'd be scared of it, and the only reason why is because that person who has discovered that wonderful ability to be able to utilize every hour of time did not create my body, and therefore he has no idea of the side effects of my body or the generations of my children to come. So I'd rather not risk it and just live as nature intended.
Okay. I don't know what I would do.
You wouldn't know what you would do?
I don't know yet.
That's a big deal, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you know why it's a bit... I've learnt that... I've learnt... You're breaking that croissant, man. Right. I ate mine before the interview and it looks so good.
I might get some jam just to...
I might just eat these crumbs. Yeah, that I am open to everything and close to nothing.
When you say crumbs, do you mean flakes?
What? Isn't it the same thing? Crumbs and flakes.
You're giving those flakes too much credit for what they actually are. Which are flakes.
So you think crumbs is higher in the respect table than flakes?
In terms of the food chain,
are these the internal thoughts that go through your head every day?
Not really. I think these are like... Yeah, they are the internal thoughts.
They are, aren't they? There's a lot of internal dialogue with you in general. Right?
All the time. But that's just you. That's people in general.
Not everybody. I mean, we are always kind of overthinking. But do you find yourself questioning yourself a lot of the time?
All the time.
What kind of things?
Is this bass drum loud enough? Is the snare drum loud enough? Are these chords? Do these chords make someone go to Narnia? Like, is this song escapist enough? Yeah. Like that kind of stuff.
You want to keep sending men to Narnia with your music?
Yes, I do. I just want to put people in a different world because I feel like if you do that, then you've done your job with your art in general. Do you know what I mean? And so I always ask myself that question: like, is this actually novel? Is this new? Is this something that I know that people will be able to remember me for a while. Not even just remembering me, but just like with these 3.5 minutes that people invest their time into with this particular song that I've made, am I making it worth their while? Yeah. Am I making them smile? Am I moving them? Am I taking somewhere they ain't never been? Yeah. And even if they have been there before, yeah, is this feeling of nostalgia that is this place that they've been to before dope? You know, like is it cool? Is what I'm doing making people think, yeah, man, I like this. I get that, because in essence, I guess when someone's listening to your song, or anyone's song, that artist owns the listener's life for that moment. For that moment, it's true. They own that moment of their life. It's true. And so what you want to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, is make as many moments of their life while listening to you a blissful experience. Yeah. But at least just to move them. It may not be blissful, it may just be some other emotion, but either way. Yeah. Do you think you can move people through the sonic sound of your music as opposed to the message in your lyrics? Yes. And is that something that you've learned, or is that something that you believe you're blessed with? I think it's an acquired skill. So like Will Smith said that people on earth are granted with two particular aspects. One is talent and the other one is skill. And talent is something that you're born with, yeah. Or others may argue that you've been cultivated with, and skill is something that requires time and effort and patience and persistence. And regarding the question about do musicians have the natural ability to make sonics that move people? I think it varies all the time. If you're a singer and a songwriter and you've practiced for so long to perfect the tone of your voice, then you only know how to do that. Whereas if you're doing it with production and you're making songs and just the background music, I say just the background music, but if you're making the music and the bed that singers sing on, then yeah, you are going to end up with pieces that make people think, yo, this beat is dope, or this background song is dope, or etc. etc.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people love Subtract, because like they don't know what he looks like, but they know that when they listen to Something Goes Right, or when they listen to Hold On, they're not just listening to Sampa's voice, they're listening to everything, like the digital butterflies that just surround the song, like that. They love that, you know. So
Digital butterflies.
yeah, like the synths that kind of like.
Is that an industry term?
No. It's like, I'm only saying it because like if you think about like the sonics of Subtract's music is very electronic, and I say butterflies because obviously butterflies move their wings flap very, very fast, and so like it kind of just, it's the only phrase I could use to kind of best describe what I hear in that piece. But yeah, it's you'll find producers who are able to do that because they spent time doing that. Yeah, you know.
Do you think that, I've spoken to some artists, hosting events for years. I've always been intrigued by the creative process. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them say that there are certain chords or certain sounds and certain melodies that you use to make hits, right? So there's a formula to an extent. Do you think that after a certain time in the industry, an artist starts to just focus on that formula as opposed to the idea of moving someone emotionally through a new sound?
I feel that varies all the time. First off, to identify the phrase that you're talking about being the formula, like a lot of people refer to that as just like chords that a lot of people use. Yeah. So they say like, oh, that song sounds like this song. So like Greatest Day would be like, dun, today this could be, dun, 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 sort of thing. And like these are like common chords and bass lines that are used in a myriad of different pop songs. So when people hear it, they have the sense of familiarity that kind of does half of the job of making them like the song. So they don't have to spend too much time into thinking that they like it. And then you've got the idea that once people perfect it, then they just stick with it because it makes sense. But I don't know, it varies with different artists. If you're only in it because you want to make hit records for like the rest of your life, or you want to make number one records for the rest of your life, then you are going to keep doing it and perfecting it to make sure that this is what you do, and and there's nothing wrong with that. It's because you're still contributing to the art that makes people, that gives people the reason to live.
You think music is the reason people should live?
I don't think it's the main reason that people should live, but I definitely think it's a damn good one.
Do you put it above love and sexual intercourse?
No. I don't put it above love.
Okay.
Sexual intercourse, yeah, same thing. Because it's these are all different aspects that like that when you're living and when you're going through life, you just want to be a part of in general. You want as a part of you.
This is so true.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like so it's like they all have their own form of importance in different contexts, that kind of stuff. But like I feel like some people don't master the chords, or some people think that they just want to, I don't know, like progress sort of thing. So you got people like Kanye who will work with a myriad of different producers after the first 3 or 4 of his albums because he wants to like extend his sonic palette. Yeah. And rightly so, because that's what music is meant to do. It's meant to incite curiosity. Yeah. And so when you hear songs like Black Skinhead and when you hear songs like On Sight, like this is prog rap. It's progressive rap music. Yeah. And so
did you coin that?
No. Okay. I found out online. It exists. Yeah. But yeah, in general, it is prog rap. And so because like it's it varies on the artist. You know what I mean? Some artists will be happy with making these hit records because they are satisfied in knowing that they're providing good music for the people, whereas other people will just be like, I want to push the boundaries a little bit, and that satisfies me and other people. Yeah.
We've just got into conversation here, which is beautiful. I think it's how you and I...
It happens all the time, bro.
It's how we are in general. But I just want to say, thanks, man, for taking out your time to sit down and let me just fire my curious questions at you and just be involved in my first ever Do You podcast or show or whatever. I don't know what this is going to be or where it's going to end up, but I know I just want to speak to people that are following their innate talents and doing their thing, and big up, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do you want to do like an intro to start off the like?
No, but I want some croissant. I want some croissant. That's a question you could have asked me.
Do that some like croissant.
Yeah. And that actually means croissant, guys. hidden agendas or anything. Yeah, these are proper crusty croissants.
They're only crusty because
Only the crustiest.
we left them for for a while.
Thank you for telling me that now. After
No, we left them for a while here. I'm not talking about like. out on the
Oh,
boat.
see. So
Yeah, bro.
Tabernacle in general don't leave croissants out for a
Are you
while.
insane? Like Tabernacle has fresh croissants, bro. I'm saying
Yeah.
it like I own a restaurant, but I
Yeah,
do have
yeah,
a
yeah.
part of me that's just like, yo,
Oh, nice.
don't diss my family croissants, bro.
No, real talk. So Tabernacle, yeah. Is this your spiritual home? Is this your like spiritual musical home?
It is my second home, yeah. If I had to call anywhere a spiritual musical home, it would be this place.
Yeah.
I did go to a music school.
You did or you didn't?
I did go to a music school like every Saturday
Yeah.
called Centre for Young Musicians in South London, and
What
that
age?
at that point was my musical home because I just go there, music. When the lessons finished, we just jam in front of a grand piano and just sing songs.
So
But
your
like,
parents sent you to a music school, or was
Yeah.
it something that you kind of wanted to do? When
my parents sent me to music school. Like when I was young, they
What age though?
So I started learning piano. Well, I started learning. I took up piano lessons at the age of like 6 or 7.
Yeah. So did I. Not
Bruv,
that early.
But what
I
did
failed
you?
grade 1. Let's move quickly. You tell me
You
about yours.
failed grade
I
1?
failed grade 1 so
Bruv,
badly.
it's all good. You
I
have the
failed a lot
voice of an
things.
angel, so it's all blessed.
Ah.
But like
That's why I failed the piano.
I know, but you compensated with
Oh, with the beautiful voice that I have.
Exactly.
It's such a fly voice.
fly,
So fly.
dope.
Mm.
And like I did that. I stopped. Like at that point, it became like financially difficult for them to continue doing it. So like, all right, cool. We're not going to do that, but we are going to send you to a different school that was provided by the council. So I went to JCYM around the area, and then I went to CYM in South London. And every Saturday when I went there, I met a whole heap of people, as well as like just being there. Do you know what I mean? Just sitting behind the piano and then just getting lost in whatever ideas came to my head.
So what, you would play the piano?
Yeah.
So you
like,
would just mash around the keys until something come out?
Yeah. It was like Chris Martin calls it going fishing. So like you're sitting there and then you're hashing out whatever chords you know in your head
Yeah.
until a few chords sound dope in context.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So you play one chord and you play another chord. Now that don't sound right together. You play another chord and you play another chord and you're like, that sounds good. I can repeat these chords for a verse. Then you've got the bed for your verse, and then it just keeps going like that. Sometimes the door was locked, and so we couldn't sit by the grand piano and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a second home. It was like a kumbaya moment for a lot of other musicians, including myself, who just wanted to sit behind the piano and come up with ideas and just jam, you know.
So is that how you learn? Is that where you learnt to create music through this whole trial and error process?
Yeah. I mean, like I was writing. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I was writing beforehand, at home. Like there was like a computer in my house with a music creation software. Like my brother got it for me.
What was it?
It was Cubase.
Was it? Oh my god!
It
I
was
remember.
Cubase.
Which was a PC-based program.
It was
right?
a Windows-based program.
wow.
I think it was also available for Mac at the time. I don't remember. And they had Cubase, and
But you were a PC guy back then.
I was a PC guy back then. So
Okay, yeah.
we got our computer like really young when I was young, and we had the internet back when the only thing you could do on the internet was send emails and go on
Yeah.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Do you remember Red Riding Hood and the Acorn?
Nah, I
The
don't.
Acorn.
Nah.
Bruv,
Was that a Flash website?
It was something we had at primary school, and it's just like this pixelated red blob that is supposedly Red Riding Hood, and you got to go around and just do all these tasks. And it was an educational program.
Right,
It was
right.
my first ever venture into computing, man. It was truly awful.
It was. I've totally forgotten all the early
Games.
ventures in computer, because we naturally every classroom used to have like one computer in the classroom,
yeah.
right?
Like the
And
booking time.
you have to book time.
The computer with the never-ending back.
Bloody
Bloody
like-
hell, man.
those screens were large, like they were, and I'm not talking about width. Obviously, I'm just talking
Yeah.
about the depth. Like how far back
Yeah.
did I don't know. It was
Yeah.
it was
But
dope.
the girth. The girth. Was
the girth of the screen was tantalizing, and like it was
It's worrying.
it was a good time.
Solid.
It was a good time. It's a shame I can't remember any of those games, because those games were really, really fun.
Yeah,
Really.
but it was back then when you started to make music on computers.
It was back then, yeah. So there was like I say, my brother brought down a program called Cubase, and then he knew of a friend called Reuben, otherwise known to other
Incisive.
people as Incisive.
So you met him back then.
I met him back then. So
how
I
old
was
were you when
I
you
was
first met Reuben?
when I first met Reuben, I think I was 13. My brother was
Yeah.
19.
I love his work ethic as well. Just the way he smashes things
this
out.
is a very, very important thing, like for me as an artist, because again, it ties into the whole talent and skill. Talent can only. He said it was funny because I was meant to have a session with him one time when I was like 16, and he pulled up outside my house, and he'd be like, "Yo, I'm outside," and I'm like, "Sorry, I'm just around the corner. I need to grab something in the shop." And that took 5, 10, 12 minutes. He sent me a text back saying, "Yo, I'm gone. I got work to do." And I called him back. I was like, "Yo, like I'm just here. I'm around the corner." He's like, "Bruv, I don't know what you're on, but like you can't be late for sessions."
Yeah.
Reuben Christian, I was 12 minutes late for the session.
Bro, that's late, you know.
It's late.
If an ambulance come 12 minutes late, someone would
die. Like you risk life, you risk death.
So
and this is the thing that he was talking about. Like talent will only take you so far.
Yeah.
It's all right if you say you're a dope singer or you're a dope songwriter, but unless you invest the time, and not just minutes, every second, unless you invest the time to create or to practice the craft at what you do, then you won't be nearly as good as you believe you can be. Like the potential will just dwindle away like a candle in the wind. And so you have to exactly. And so like it's and so he was kind of instrumental in
just disciplining you basically. So just beating me into musical shape, into discipline to an extent. Because like you are full of energy, bruv. Yeah. And I remember speaking to your manager, who's a good friend of mine, Nikki.
Yeah.
And I don't know when she came on board as management. I have no idea. But them lot used to say I was quite hyperactive. But then I met you, and I just felt like an OAP, man. I don't know. I've known you for a few years now, right?
Yeah. And
when I first met you, I think you were a lot more hyper than you are now. Now you seem to be a little bit more controlled. You let it out in bursts, and then you kind of control it.
Do you know?
Was Reuben and Nikki, have them two helped you kind of?
Do you know what? Reuben didn't help me calm down. Yeah. Reuben was always the guy that was like, do
so
whatever you want behind the mic.
Not about me. It's so odd.
Okay, Incisive. Sorry. Yeah. Incisive was always the one who told me like, yo, just do you behind the mic. And he would always give me suggestions and be like, yo, sing softer or sing this here or try this melody. But 9 times out of 10, he'd be like, yo, just write whatever's there and then get it down on wax, and then we'll, do whatever we want afterwards. And
so that's how the whole process works. Then.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily plan it out. You just press record, and in the moment,
of course, you come up with the melody, or you may have recorded a melody from before, or we may have made a beat from before that we didn't use, and then 6 months down the line, be like, yo, this tune is actually heavy.
Oh, serious?
So it happens all the time. Like,
so you're constantly pulling from the archive.
Yeah, all the time. Like we wrote a song called "Where Is He" in like 2009, 2010. A guy called TE1 produced that, and about 2 years later, he listened to the tune and he was like, yo, why have we not finished this yet?
Get out of here.
We re-recorded everything, shot a video for it, and it was one of the lead singles for his mixtape, and did like a lot for his career, getting him like performance stages in Carnival and a lot of different shows around London. So it's like there's no formula, there's no particular way. It just, that song's dope, let's work on it. Or that song's crap, let's park it for now at least.
Park it.
Yeah.
So like freeze it.
Yeah, let's freeze it.
Let's freeze it and bring it out later on.
Yeah.
So any of the stuff that you do now, right, that you don't necessarily like, you don't say, you know what, this is shit, delete, eradicate, and move on. Never. You always archive. You always freeze it.
And I never delete. I never really? Like it's
your hard drives, bruv.
It's not that large.
Really?
It isn't that.
But you've been recording like near enough.
It's fat, but like
it's so big.
It's fat. But the thing is, it's like
so big.
The girth of my hard drive is stupid, and the reason why is because it's what's the word? Like,
how do you even go through those takes? How often do you revisit it?
It varies all the time. It varies all the time. So what it is like you never know. As a
is that recording all right?
Yeah, that's recording fine.
Okay. I'm gonna eat some croissant. Carry on.
As a singer-songwriter and producer, you never know what idea is dope, because the only opinion you have is yours.
Yeah.
You only have you only have your own opinion, and so when you play it to someone else, they may give you an opinion that would help you create the song. They'll either give you a good opinion on the song, or they'll give you a bad opinion on the song.
Does it matter what they say?
Sometimes it does, because you're not just making music for yourself, you're making music to move people.
But as an artist, isn't it just about what's internally inside you that needs to come out to the world?
No, it's not just what's about inside.
Is it not?
At all. Like that's selfish songwriting.
Right, but I thought.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are songs that I would make that I just write. Like I don't think. I just. So a song called "Just Wanna See You." Like I just wrote. Like I didn't think about rhyming patterns as such. I didn't really think about how catchy the melodical structure was. Like it's a conversational song.
Yeah.
It's not like many conversations. It's not as like repetitive like that. It's like I could laugh with other unfunny jokes for minutes and hours and days, and like it's for me that could be that someone could argue that is a conversational song, or rather that is a selfish song.
Why is it selfish?
Because you're not thinking about, because at that moment you're not necessarily thinking about whether or not it could provide for the soundtrack for a drive home, or background music for someone washing their dishes and just.
But if I listened to that song and I related to it, and something in my life was similar, then you've touched me, right? Which makes it selfless.
I have touched you, and in theory it does make it selfless.
Musically,
I've still made the song selfless, but I guess my point is that there are different songs for different purposes. So it's not as if to say I would consciously say, okay, cool, I'm gonna make a dance song now. Like if I'm in that mood, then I'd set up the bass drum for a 4 to the floor kind of rhythm, and then put my claps where they need to be, and then start riffing and seeing what makes me move and seeing what makes me dance, sort of thing. Whereas if I have something on my mind that needs to get written down on paper, that's pretty introspective and pretty moody, then whatever comes out would come out in that particular moment in time. You know, it's pretty much just like that.
Okay, what's your plan with all this, bro?
What's my plan?
What's your plan with all of this?
It's a simple plan.
As a musician that records and performs, do you have a plan? Do you have a time plan? Do you reverse engineer from a certain date? Or are you just making stuff and putting it out there and being happy and singing?
It varies all the time.
Every day? Every 32 seconds?
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
And I say this because there's a lot of things that have happened in my life so far that I couldn't believe would have happened in a million years.
Yeah.
Getting a top 10 with a UK-based rapper.
Congratulations, man. To hear your voice on the radio made me so happy. It's like I shared.
Listen, I filmed myself.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Watching my own music, because it's people need to know how much of a thing, how big of a deal this means to me. Do you know what I mean? Touring with arguably one of the greatest producers of all time, or pair of producers of all time, the Basement Jacks, as well as being on their latest. Even as I'm saying this, it doesn't
sink in.
It doesn't sink in. It doesn't sink in at all. And because of these things, it's not. I do say, okay, cool. In the next 3 years, I'd like to be midway through a tour, like my second album or first album.
Your own tour.
My own tour, and the second album, first album, where I'd be doing a few festivals and doing a few stages here, as well as producing and executive producing a myriad of different projects.
Yeah.
But I'm already doing that. And so it's okay, I still want to do that. I don't want to change anything. I do have dreams of acting, which I have pursued, and which I have been lucky enough to be able to do with other people. Are
you trained?
No. This is just like.
Is this serious acting, or are you acting a fool? Which you do on a daily basis on Instagram? Anyway?
Both. It's definitely both. And I take acting a fool very, very seriously.
No, real talk. So do I.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Coming from a comedy background as well. I think that's innately part of my DNA.
Of course, and it has to be part of your DNA in order for people to take it seriously.
I was born a fool, and I'll die a
You were born a fool
idiot.
and die a fool. Do you know how much of an intelligent statement that is?
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I only say this because acting a fool is the closest to getting in touch with my creative inner child as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to just doing and being and creating something that's I don't have to think. I just do.
Yeah.
And when I act a fool, I don't filter anything.
This
I just
is it.
act
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is the beauty with doing, when I used to do stand-up as well. I mean, I revisit it sometimes. I may get into it later on. But it's a liberating thing. When you can go on stage and you can act a fool and you're not worried about whether people laugh at you or not, you can let all barriers go.
Yeah.
No pretenses, no ego, just I'm an idiot. That is it. Yeah. I get off the stage. I think it's the most liberating thing. Seriously, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Like it's like I'd have.
You grow confidence as well after that, because a lot of things don't matter. People's opinions of you don't necessarily matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter after a while. Like you begin to think that like even the way in which you dress or how you go outside or the amount of emphasis that you put on. I don't know. Maybe as something as anal as matching clothes or matching color with clothes, or like the way in which you act around particular groups of people, or how you think you should act around particular groups of people, and what the status quo is for your behavior in front of people. Like at times I find myself throwing them out the window just to see what would happen if I asked.
Let's like, just fuck this scenario.
Let's fuck it up. Let's
do something that you don't believe should be done. Because I think it's fine.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Let's test your reaction outside of the norm. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's and I take that very seriously. Again, just tying into the acting thing and the goals thing. Like, it's my main thing is to keep building the amount of people who know about my music. Yeah. To keep collaborating with as many people as possible, and to try my best to make timeless music. Yeah. With as many talented people as possible. And I say as many. I don't want to limit it. I just want to make, irrespective of how long the song takes, I just want to, let's jump into the studio, spend just 2 or 3 days and see what comes out. And if we have an EP or an album or one song, I'm happy with that, as long as the people can hear it and a life can be changed. Yeah, I think you're doing that. And I think the more you do it, and then you take a step back and you look in hindsight, you realize that you are achieving that plan. Do you think at the beginning, or maybe you are now, of your journey, were you ever looking for acceptance from, let's say, who was it? Who were you looking for acceptance from? Many different people. Family, friends, musicians.
The industry?
Yeah, I guess.
As open as that statement is, the industry.
This is the thing. Like, it's what does the industry mean? I guess. I wanted acceptance from my musical peers, but as time went on, I kind of lost all of it. I just
what? They stop respecting you?
No. It's like
that need for acceptance.
Yeah, it's kind of, it just diminished. Like, and that's one of the beautiful things about working with.
To be, though,
yeah. Because and I say it's one of the beautiful things of working with the people who I work with, like my manager who I was telling you about. Because I mean, there's always times where we have creative differences and arguments about what line I should put here or different things like that. But ultimately, I go into the studio, I wake up in the morning, I write what's from my head or my heart or what.
Is this before you brush your teeth?
Before I brush my teeth, I wake up in the morning and...
So you write the lyrics with stink breath every morning?
Of course. Who else is there?
Even if you had company?
If I had company, obviously it's a different thing. If I had company, it's a different thing.
Then you just wouldn't brush your teeth at all?
I would back as many Triple X tree ball mints as possible.
Yeah. That's a good toothbrush replacement though, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
Sorry.
Because it's kind of contrary to what toothbrushes and toothpaste is meant to do for your teeth, which is eradicate cavities. And plaque.
That's what that's for.
Yeah. No, of course. But I mean, obviously, I've just helped you out in life and things, so.
Bruv, you always help me out in life.
So
no, real talk. I don't think there's been a day that I have met you and not gained some sort of life-changing information.
Do you know what?
That I've acted on and changed my life.
Likewise, I say this, and everyone's gonna think that we're just sucking each other's dicks, but it's like it's.
That would be terrible.
That would be terrible. It would be uncomfortable for people to hear.
I'd cry.
I wouldn't.
There'll be tears in my eyes. Really? Why are you laughing? There'll definitely be tears in my eyes.
Okay, cool.
Because I'd have to go in.
So like the thing that done now, obviously.
Just coughing up croissant.
No, but in short, like for me, it's like we're talking about the
when we see each other. I think it's an energy thing. I think because I know how you're wired and I've watched your journey, every time I do see you, I know that I'm going to gain something from this. I don't think you have to say anything, bro. All we have to do is, like, the other day we went out roller skating just to be jamming around each other.
That was fun, though.
That was so much fun.
That was fun.
And some people might think it's ridiculous cheesy, but whatever, man. This is my truth, right? There is an optimistic and uplifting energy about you.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that I exuberate the same thing. Exuberate, is that even a word? Exuberate, is that a word?
Exuberance. Exuberate. I think there's a verb in there somewhere.
A verb.
I think there's a verb to exuberate.
Okay.
I think there's a verb.
Go on, I'm gonna need some croissant.
But like, bro, nyam your croissant. But like, I feel like it's important to be around people like that, and that's why I mentioned my manager Nikki. Like people who are
Nikki's a hard ass, man.
No, but here's the thing. She's compatible with everything that I do as a musician. So like,
she scares me.
She scares you. Why does Nikki scare you?
Because Nikki, like, I've worked with Nikki before.
Yeah.
And she's obviously listening to this right now. She's a get shit done bitch. Yes. Which I am, but not a bitch, obviously. I
was gonna say that's
well, I have been somebody's
her boyfriend is gonna come after
back
you
in the day.
And
but that was way back in the day.
No, but go on. She's very let's get this done sort of thing.
Yeah, she's let's get this done. And she knows the rules and regs, and she knows all the legislations coming from a lawyer background. So, yeah, she just, I guess it's a great thing, I think, for you to be working with her. Because you're on this side, you're this crazy out there artist that has no rules, lives in the moment, and is just a madman creating art.
Yeah.
And then she's there stressing to try to keep it all in line and keep it moving forward and help you build upwards rather than build outwards.
Sideways, yeah, exactly. And
it's a great combo, man.
And I'm
so scared now.
I'm echoing this. You should be. And I'm echoing this because again, like it's so important to have someone who understands what you like. Not understands what they believe you are capable of, but more so understanding what you like doing when you go into the studio, like alongside what you're capable of. Because if they don't, then it to get the wrong understanding of an artist or what they're capable of doing is like getting the wrong understanding of a child during upbringing or child like during the time when he's going to school or something. Because then it means that you're kind of pushing them into things that they don't want to do, and they develop resentment towards you, and that happens with relationships in general, including the artist and manager relationship. And so yeah, it's dope working with that family friend from way back, someone who understands my culture based on where she comes from, the Caribbean, and understanding the state of music that we're in, not just like business wise, but also just creative wise and music wise. So it's a real dope experience being with her.
While working with Nikki as your manager, but while working with a manager, do you, when it comes to planning out, let's say the next year or the future, does one person lead? Do you say, Nikki, within 2 years I want to be able to do this, or does she say, Shakka, I think you should do this?
It varies all the time.
It varies.
Yeah, because we both have ideas to put into the mix. So like you say, like it's good to have someone who can see the bigger picture rather than someone who just wants to do stuff without any particular plan. And so what happens is when we have meetings, it's always like an idea of, okay, cool. This year you've done this tour, you've done this show. Now that you've seen which kind of shows or stages you've performed with or different artists you've collaborated with, like what do you think is, because it sounds like it's time for another project. It sounds like it's time for another song, or it's time for like, I don't know, just a myriad of different things that you'd like to do. And even aside from numbers, this is just like creatively what you'd like to do. And then we would talk about like the numbers and how to get there and the different places and stuff. So it's not, we always do talk about the business stuff, but it's more so about like the grand master plan of where do you see yourself? Like what is your
What is the
self?
grand master plan?
Again, just to have timeless pieces of work, to have many timeless pieces of work. Like I'd ideally, it would be dope to own my own creative company. I don't know whether or not that's a label or whether or not that's a
like a recording studio or something like that,
or a recording studio or a complex like the way Steve Jobs has Disney and Pixar. Like it's just like creative people are just there to make and share ideas, be it music. Shakka World sounds very cheesy, but like just different things that could like
I want to come to Shakka World, man.
Shakka World would be dope.
It would be
I
so
mean,
good.
the tribe is kind of like the inception, I guess. Like a group of people who don't know where they fit, but just, exist and, just accept each other as different, sort of thing.
Real talk. Do you find that the majority of your fans are similar to you? Like, I'm sure you've got I'm sure you've met a few of them.
Yeah, I've met a lot of them.
The reason why I am a massive fan of you isn't just because your music moves me, but it's because of what you stand for. I've listened to your early mixtapes and the messages that you were giving out. Some of them were of frustration, of an artist's frustration, and someone like me, as a creative, as an artist that has been going out doing my own thing from since I can remember, I share a lot of the points of views, and so I bought into you, man, and your message. Do you find that a lot of your fans are up and coming artists themselves, people out there doing their thing, or are they just music listeners?
I don't know the numbers exactly, but I do know that there are definitely a lot of different artists, and a lot of them come up to me and we have conversations about
that girl at skating knew you, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
What did she say to you?
She said she likes my stuff, she likes my music, and she's got like a few friends who are like mad fans of me, sort of thing.
Yeah, so groupies.
Not necessarily groupies, just mad fans. and people ask me this question all the time, like, yo, like, so what groupies? Yeah, and I'm like, nah, like it's weird. Like, I'd love to have that story.
I'm a groupie. Shakka.
You're a groupie.
Yeah.
Are you a groupie fan?
I bought an extra pair of boxers to throw at you.
Are they clean boxes though?
No, it's a part of me, bro. Accept me.
I'm smiling.
Clean boxes. I could have just bought them.
I'm smiling behind the mic.
Do you know what I mean?
Much.
That's like taking your ex's pillow just to smell her, but it's a brand new pillow that was the same pillow as your ex's.
I tell you what, when I'm performing, I'll have a pair of tongs, right? And so when you throw them, just let me know you're about to throw them so I can catch them with the tongs.
Tongs?
I'll acknowledge them.
Is that a West Indian based way of saying thongs?
No.
That the tongue?
No.
Tongue. An actual hair tongue?
Actual tongs that people would use.
You want to catch my boxes with a tongue?
Yeah, like, so I don't think when you have school dinners and then you want to give too much sausages to the students, you'd use tongs and all that.
Disrespected harder.
No, but here's what it is. I need to keep those boxes in pristine condition. And so in order for
that when I make it, you can sell them.
Exactly.
That's
exactly
you, bro. You can start up Shakka World.
No, Reuben. That's you.
That's me. Damn. Have you always wanted to be a musician?
All the time. Since I was born.
That sounds so cheesy, man.
But it's true. It is true.
Since I was born. You came out.
I mean, there were
child.
definitely times where I wanted to be a Power Ranger, and there were other times where I wanted to be Will Smith, because he was. No,
he is.
But when he had tunes, aside from his Independence Day debut, like
when he had tunes, his music. His Will Smith's music moved Shakka.
The Fresh Prince and Will Smith, like, it was
Jazzy Jeff
and the Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince and Will Smith.
I'll tell you why.
You're so on him, you want him doubled.
I'll tell you why, because like because I'm a massive fan of rap music. I'm a massive fan of hip hop. I've grown up on that. My brother used to give me so many different albums, and so but one thing I did notice was that there was a lot of aggressive hip hop that naturally, whilst my brother gravitated towards, like, I guess at the age that I was, when I was listening to hip hop music, I wanted something fun. I wanted something, that I could just dance to. And you had intelligent, like KRS once said, you had intelligent rappers and you had party rappers. Will Smith was a party rapper. He had intelligent lyrics, but his main aim was to make people enjoy themselves in a club or in a party or whatever. And I don't know what his audience was. I definitely understand and know that a lot of people said that his hip hop was cheesy, but at the core of it, he just wanted to have fun, and he made it look as cool and as hilarious and as dope as possible in his own charming boy next door kind of way. Do you know what I mean? And there was a part of me that gravitated towards that, because as many people know and as my fans know, like, I'm not the roadman, but I'm the roadman family, and so. So when it comes to
Roadman family,
I'm it's part of my culture. It's still part of my being. Like, I grew up with a myriad of different people who lived the road life. So I grew up with a little.
Serious.
I'm calling it that because I grew up with a bunch of different people who didn't live the road life, who lived like a very like upper class life. Like Notting Hill is the
Yeah.
a cosmopolitan area where you
Notting
meet
Hill Road, man.
Notting Hill Road, man. Like,
It's
and this,
robbing us in suits.
and so for me, it's like, it's to see that hip hop can be represented that way was pretty dope, and then to see charisma embodied in that way is something that I definitely gravitated towards. And so when I go on stage, like I try to like the way in which I connect with the crowd and the way in which I perform to the crowd is yeah, I guess there's a lot of will. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
no, there
willpower
is.
in it.
You're an inclusive performer. It isn't the stage and the audience. It is when you come on stage, you are that bridge between the audience and the performer, and everybody is family.
Yeah.
It's like what you said with the tribe. It's like, oh, thanks for letting me host your gig, by the way, bro.
Listen,
no,
it
real
was an
talk.
honor
Like,
to
I've
have
been
you down.
hosting stages for years, and I have never had more fun in my life. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because the people that come to see you might buy into my sense of humor. I have no idea, but bruv, that was so much fun, man. And we were never on a stage at the same time.
We weren't.
This is some bullshit.
I know.
Is
I know.
Nikki
In
keeping
due-
you
in
away
due
from
time-
me?
No, it's not even that. For me,
Ah.
I don't know. I just wanted there to be, because especially for that time, like there was like a bunch of new music that I wanted to show, and I wanted to make sure that they got it in the right way. And so I wanted there to be like a beginning, a middle, and an end. I didn't want to be present around any time before that. I wanted them to come to hear the music in its entirety without any interruption, without any watering down, and that included how much they saw me beforehand. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
and it's a very important thing. Like and it sounds very cheesy and very raw. Shakka doesn't want people to see him beforehand, but like it when I don't see like one of my favorite artists come on stage beforehand and they go from start to finish, from the greatest song to another dope song to another dope song to the end of the song, what's talking in between, it feels like I stepped into their world, and so I better, like, I don't know, just enjoy that moment for as much as I can. Do you know what I mean? Like I better like pay attention to exactly what's going to be going on, because it won't be there for long.
Yeah.
Like that idea, that ethos of you know, just enjoying that moment was very important. I still love you though.
You know, thanks, bruv. Like, even if you didn't love me, that's none of my business. Your opinion of me is none of my business. But I will always love you, I think.
That hard exterior ain't gonna help you in life.
No, maybe you're right, man. But you know, man's from the ends.
Say that again?
And you know, man's from the ends, innit?
Which part of the end?
Man's from the dirtiest piece of ends.
The dirtiest piece of ends.
The dirtiest piece of ends.
Elaborate.
It's a back road in Stratford, East London. That's where I'm from. And I don't think this is a hard exterior. I think it's actually who I am. It's the acceptance that there are going to be times in life where people may not like me.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But again, it's none of my business. It would be nice if more people did like me.
Yeah. But it ties in
man.
what I was talking about the trying to please someone, because
Yeah.
you always have like your relatives who you really like and
Yeah.
musicians you really love who you want to please, but yeah, ultimately you can't, like, it's impossible to please everyone because everyone's different.
Yeah. So just do you.
Yeah.
As cheesy as that sounds.
But it's true.
title.
It's very, very
It's a
true. It is
show
very,
title.
very true. You have to do you.
Yeah.
You don't really know how to do everyone else, even if you're an actor.
Yeah.
Like,
You have to interpret it. You interpret the performance in your way. It's
Yeah.
like when you go for an audition, right?
yeah.
If you try to be what they want you to be, I'm guessing it's not going to work. But you got to kind of do you.
I don't know.
How you would do the character.
Yeah,
Well, I heard that in-
of course.
I heard that
It's
in
true,
an
it is
interview
true.
with
But-
Vince Vaughn, and I'm just trying to sound.
But it is true.
worldly and
It
clever.
is true. Like it's there was like an interview with what's his name? I forgot who it was. Like Michael Jackson did he did Bad, obviously, and he had like a film, a feature length film based on that. It was directed by Martin Scorsese, and Wesley Snipes was picked to play one of the youths in that piece. And when Wesley was talking about it, like when he was talking about the interview that he had, or rather when he was auditioning for the part, he noticed that a lot of people who went before and after him were like stereotypically gangsters and kicking words like Jack and Yo and stuff like that, and it just didn't really ring true to who he thought was definitely on the road at that time. And so like I feel like your own spin on things definitely helps, and it helps to have a sense of identity.
Identity. Talking of identity, is Shakka the performer and Shakka Malcolm Phillip two different people?
9 times out of 10, they're not that different.
I agree.
Like it's
I agree. Yeah, you're performing when no one's around.
yeah, genuinely, like this is genuinely who I am. Like, I mean, like, if there are definitely times where, because I produce obviously as well, so if I'm producing, I won't be talking or saying anything. I'll just be like zoned out into the computer, like a zombie watching video after video after video on YouTube or something. But like, yeah, when I'm recording or when I'm performing or when I'm collaborating, I'm the same guy that I am on stage. You know, I don't really see that much of a difference with being on stage and being in the studio. I have preferences every now and then, but nah, it's all the same to me. It's all just making music.
Okay. And what's going on now?
At the moment,
Yeah. Other than the fact that you're watching me, like, wipe crumbs off my lips.
I wasn't really watching you do that. Did you think I was watching you do that?
I hope you were.
You hope I was.
I find it quite sexy.
Okay. Now I can't think about anything else apart from crumbs.
On my lips.
I didn't necessarily say on your lips. I just said crumbs.
I just go for what I want in life.
I'm messing. But like, I've got a single out. The single's called When Will I See You Again? It's actually, it will be available on October the 19th, 2014, depending on whether or not it's AD.
Just be mad precise if you don't be precise.
It's that's the current single that I'm promoting at the moment, and I've got like a bunch of songs that I'm getting ready to put out. We've already shot the video for this.
Nice.
We're about to shoot the video for the next one.
Is that for an EP or an album or?
Do you know what? It is for another project. It is definitely for another project. Whether or not it's an album or an EP, I'm not sure, but I do know that a lot of my fans are asking for an album or like a long, like, escapist project. So when I come up with a dope idea, I'll definitely put it more together.
Sick.
Or if there is like a theme or a thread going through all these other songs that I put out, then yeah, we'll make it a compilation. I'm messing, not really a compilation, but definitely like a cohesive body of work.
All right, before I leave you, because you got a session probably. I'm guessing you do.
It's been postponed actually.
Oh, because of me?
Text. No. Because a long story. I got a text from the producer that I'm working with, and he just wants to postpone it for a little bit longer. So we got time.
What have you learned on your journey doing you that you could have never been taught?
Honestly, I've learned that everyone's scared, and I say this because the most times where I find that I'm nervous when I'm about to do something that I really want to do is when I'm in front of people who I really admire. So my brothers,
because like, you hold their opinion in high regard.
I hold their opinion in high regard. So my family, my the artists who I work with, like Wretch or like the Jacks or Vula or anyone who I highly admire, and or different artists that I work with, and I feel like when the thing that I've learned is that everyone else is human as well, and everyone else has reservations of their own opinions, because they too have people who they want to impress, and then they also have people who they care how much of an effect they have on that particular person. So you would care how much of an effect you have on me, or you care how you are perceived in front of me, and so it would make you act a certain way based on certain circumstances. And what I realized is when I come up with ideas, and for example, if I'm in a rehearsal in a studio and I'm coming up with ideas and I don't get shut down, or I don't get the whole, oh, I've done that before, like, don't worry about it, I'll do everything. Like when people acknowledge you for the creative input that you have is when you truly like begin to accept or have more confidence and more faith in you as yourself as a creative person. And so like doing me has helped me realize that we are all equal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like
in the most non-cheesiest but definitely honest way possible. Like this thing that we do, this music thing that we do, like everyone, it's all coming from like one brain. It's all coming from someone's heart. It's all coming from someone's idea, and then it snowballs into a big one. And everyone's got a part to play, and everyone has a right to contribute to it, sort of thing. And if you don't do that, then you have nothing. So
if you don't do what?
If you don't do you,
yeah,
then you have nothing. If you don't contribute, if you don't make anything, if you don't collaborate, if you don't work with anyone, then you genuinely have nothing. You're just going through life based on the creation of others. Waiting to die, that's probably a very, very dark term that I wouldn't used to use. Yeah. But I would say that you are living your life like kind of
in mediocrity.
Not even mediocrity, just in
nothingness.
Without your own form of expression, without a proper acknowledgement of your existence, apart from the fact that you are alive. Do you know what I mean? And so doing you is very important, and it's helped me realize that everyone's human and everyone's got like a part to play and a right to create.
I know I said that was the last question, right? But something's just popped to mind. You see the first time you performed live singing, can you remember it? Were you shitting it?
For myself, for my own gig. Last time I performed live. The first time I performed live.
How about the first time you performed live since you started recording songs as an artist? So I'm guessing you put them out online first, right? And then someone said, you know what, can you perform that? How was that day?
That day, I forgot my lyrics.
Shit, of the own songs that you wrote.
My own song that I wrote. So
there's Fear is a bitch, isn't it?
There's a song that I wrote called Talk to Me. Yeah. And it was for an EP that I made called Foolishness Volume 1 in 2009. Right. And I was 19, 20 when I put it out. And before I put it out, I was attending a youth center, which also Incisive was attending. Like, he was managing the music studio there. And he was like, yo, this song's dope. We've got a talent show coming up. Do you want to sing for it? I think I was like 17, 18 at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I didn't have a second verse. I just had a first verse, a chorus, and nothing else.
You said you'll do it, yeah.
I said I'll do it. I had the beat, I had everything because I made the beat myself. And
gotta be a yes man.
And you've got to be a yes man. I don't know why I said yes, I'll do it. But I did it, and I mumbled through like the first verse. I remember getting on stage. It wasn't even the stage. It was just the floor, and then there was plastic chairs in front of me, and people sitting in plastic chairs, and like people were walking past, and they'd notice and they'd stop, and more people congregated. And I was like, okay, cool. People actually like my voice. But when I started the song, it was like, is it because I consistently for this and the first this?
Oh no!
Tell me, is it because when we're on the phone?
No.
To the conversation.
You just hit home the big words.
The big words. The big words.
Drunk people in clubs.
I hoped for the best. I hoped
so
for the best.
Unsexy.
But it was dope because like after I did it, I could actually laugh about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I could laugh about something like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me feel more comfortable with doing something on stage.
Yeah.
And so I thought less about what people thought about me and less about the lyrics, and I just let my mind remember it, you know? Yeah. I gave my mind time to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, that's like the first time I ever got on stage to host a live event.
Yeah.
Like, there was a massive anxiety before for weeks, down to days, down to hours, but the second I got on and I got my first laugh, this was hosting as opposed to stand-up, right? Yeah. So before stand-up.
Yeah.
And I was just interacting with that crowd that day for 3 hours non-stop, right? Mm-hmm. And I went home that night and I was like, Rubes, you are not the same person that you were before. You have now got this new power, this new skill.
It's true.
And how far can you push it? And my life's been a constant upgrade since then. I've always said, okay, if I can do that, can I do this? Can I do that? And for the most part, when I do try something, I found out that it was nowhere near as hard or nowhere near as scary as you initially think, because fear is just projecting nonsense into your head.
Nonsense. And the other thing that fear does, it kind of amalgamates every possible thing that could go wrong. Yeah. And so all you're thinking about is
all of those in front of you.
All of those in front of you.
Doubles them and then slaps you in your face.
And it's like you are your own worst fearmonger. Like you'll conjure up, because it's not comfortable to do something you ain't never done before.
Yeah.
And if you threaten your comfort zone, your mind's gonna be like, hey, what are you picking up that mic for, blood? What are you picking up that mic for, blood? Like you don't do this, bruv. Bruv, there's people in front of you, bruv. And you're like, there's only 4 people there. But bruv, that's 4 opinions, bruv. 4 whole opinions. And each of those 4 opinions know 4 other friends. Like, come on now, let's not do this. And it just plays tricks on you that it doesn't need to play. But yeah, it's necessary to trust yourself. It's necessary to just.
So you're not anxious before stage time now?
I always am anxious about stage time.
Yeah.
I'm always anxious.
If
about
you
stage
weren't, does that mean you don't care?
time. I don't know.
I've
never not been anxious.
When I've been overconfident.
To be fair, it varies.
So shit.
It varies all the time. It varies all the time. The anxiety is definitely there. The amount of anxiety would vary.
That's a beautiful hint, by the way.
Sorry, I've been up since a very, very early hour. But like it varies depending on what you're doing, the gravity of the show, and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's.
Well, listen, man. Thank you very much for putting up with me, bro. For letting me come into Tabernacle and just raid, eat croissants, flake out the floor, and just
listen. I'm glad to be.
Ask you about your life.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have another catch up because it's been way too long.
It's been way too long, bro. Well, keep doing you, man. If I can help with anything, shout me, and we might have another one of these done in about 2 years' time to talk about the progress in 2 years.
I'm down for doing me in front of you.
One love.
Yeah, man. In a bit.
Inadi pum pum.
Find out what you're here to do and go and do that. You, because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up. Do you, please. Thank you.